Hello. Are you Michael? I'm not sure I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, now I can
There we
hear
go.
you. Yay.
I turn off things without even knowing it.
I know.
So do you go to the school there? Are you?
Yes, yeah, I'm a third year medical student at University of Colorado.
Oh, wow, that's cool. They
Yeah.
let you do stuff like this?
Yeah, so we have a community outreach program where we have to partner up with a different group. So I chose the therapeutic recreation programs.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so I get to help put on a program, and then there's a few other students who are doing the same thing. So there's the adaptive yoga session, and then the I think that there's like going to be a culinary art kind of program. So it's like what kind of food helps boost your mood, and like what kind of food is healthier for like having like wellness and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
that will be in the spring that we'll be doing that one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then I've gotten to go to the adaptive cycling sessions, so that's fun.
What is that through? Is that through?
It's through TRP.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember how many. So there's one this Saturday. Um, and I don't know how you sign up necessarily, but I could email you if you wanted.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
I just didn't know they even had that.
Yeah, they do. And they have the recumbent bikes. So it's much more
Mhm.
comfortable for a lot of participants. And they even like do some of the tandem bikes. So like if a person isn't able to completely ride the trail on their own, but they want to learn how to, the recumbent bikes really help with that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where do you guys ride your bikes?
We go, let's see, we start off of uh, oh man, why can't I think of what it's called? Garden of the Gods Road. There's a adaptive cycling store. I think it's called I think it's actually called Adaptive Cycles,
Oh,
the
okay.
shop. And then there's a trail that goes along the highway. I think it's the Santa Fe um, trail, and it's paved, so it's really beautiful and really easy to go along. So yeah, is really fun. You get to have a lot of participants who are just a hoot, and I went with my fiance, and so we both were just having fun being out there. It's beautiful weather, so
Oh, wow.
hopefully this Saturday is also beautiful weather.
I know. Well, they're saying it's supposed to get warm again, so hopefully it will be for you.
Yeah, we'll
By
see.
the way, my name's Colleen and this is Mike.
Hi. Hi,
Yeah,
Colleen. Hi, Mike.
you've got his name up there, but
Yep.
in
My,
case you need it, mine's
perfect.
Colleen.
My aunt's name is Colleen, so I will
Oh,
remember.
really?
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, there weren't any Colleens anywhere, and now they're everywhere.
I know. It's funny because I feel like my mom and aunt say the same thing, that they just see and hear so many more Colleens. And but yeah, it's funny too because like a lot of people will say Colleen and she hates that.
Right.
And so,
Or
you know, yeah,
Colleen
exactly.
or Clean.
Yeah, the worst.
I've been called clean a lot, but I don't know if it's that true. So,
Oh, I'm sure it's true.
no. So, are we really early?
Just a few minutes early. So hopefully we'll get a few more participants. I think there was like 5 families who signed up. So
Oh.
we'll see. I know some of them wanted to come in person, but we stopped the in person just because we thought that the snow would be worse. But hi, Casey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm Mike.
How's it going?
Doing very well. How about yourself?
Good.
I didn't know you were a Bears fan.
Yeah,
It's got about 5 teams.
I do it.
You do. I'm going to be cheering for them.
Ah, that's
Yeah, he's got about 5 teams he likes.
yes.
5 teams he likes.
What
I'm
are
a
the
big
other
Bills
ones?
fan. I'm from the area.
You what?
I'm going to get another chair.
Aren't the Bears playing today?
Bears
Tonight?
yesterday?
No, they play.
They play tonight. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't remember a score for them, so I figured they haven't played yet.
Yeah, tonight. What other teams do you like, Mike?
Oh, I got a dozen of them.
That's good. You like some, right?
I like Steelers and the Broncos,
And Seahawks.
Seahawks and the Packers.
No, he didn't like the Packers. I'd kill him if he liked the Packers. He
Oh,
likes
yeah.
the 49ers.
49ers.
So he's got a few teams.
Yeah.
So see, he always wins
I know.
every
Yeah.
weekend.
You
Yeah.
got to win this year, I think.
That's wise. Well, I love the Broncos, but they aren't doing so well.
Yeah. They didn't last year either, if you remember.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
But they had all the problems with the quarterback. So hopefully this year they'll figure something out or that kid will get well.
Yeah. I feel like they always have problems with their quarterback, except when they had Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my.
Mike, do you just like football or do you also like other sports?
I like football
I like football too.
the best.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. It's the mystery person.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello.
I have very little light. It's all behind me.
Just a silhouette.
It's like those like when you're interviewing someone who doesn't want to be seen.
Right. Yeah, like in the news, they want to
Yep.
remain anonymous.
Exactly.
Little
At
bit.
least we don't have to go out and get in the car.
Yeah, I went driving for a little bit today. It's a little slick out there.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Was it so early?
I was driving around 6 o'clock this morning and it was pretty early. So the roads weren't fully paved off yet. So I'm a thrill seeker.
All right.
Yeah, I had a dentist appointment this morning at 8 a.m. and it was like, I think 6 degrees when I got in my car.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
on the car this morning.
I haven't been out yet. William's still in his pajamas.
Good for
when-
Will, how it should be today.
He doesn't quite see the point of, getting out of the pajamas today, so.
There's nothing wrong with that, That's the advantage of staying home. I think, of course, I don't have my list with me because it's on my desk at the office, but I know we have a couple other people. I think we have some people that are on Mark's fitness class that's just ending, like a 1:30, so they may be jumping in a minute. But maybe if we wait just a few more minutes, then we can go ahead and get started and let folks in when they get here.
Sure. If everyone wants to get a piece of paper and a pen, there's a lot of or several activities to do. So just get a few pieces of paper and a pen for the next
Okay.
for this. Mike is excited.
Woo. He's always excited when he can see somebody else besides me.
Yeah.
Colleen, I'm glad you guys got the link because I was having trouble sending it to your email.
I talked to Sherry this morning and she was the one that gave me the number to get in.
Okay,
There
good.
she
'cause-
is.
Oh,
Come here.
Hello.
hey. Remember me?
Hi.
There's Kendra.
Ah,
Perfect.
you doing?
Look at who we've got here online.
Jerry and Kendra are just jumping from room to room here on Zoom today, huh?
We can't hear you, Sherry. We can't hear you.
Hi.
There you go.
Hey. Remember me?
How are you feeling?
I feel better. I feel good.
Oh,
That's good.
Well,
That's
good.
good.
That is good.
Hey, Casey's muted too. Look at Casey's. Kelly's muted too.
Oh, what's that for?
Yeah.
Hey, Kendra. Hey, Sherry.
A session you can be involved in.
Will, what's up, Will?
I'm gonna do that.
I think I'm gonna switch to my iPad. I think the lighting will be better.
Okay.
You guys. will. Okay. They look good. You look good, Marianne.
Oh,
Hi,
if I-
Casey and Ashley.
What's up, Kendra?
Hey, Kendra. How you guys doing?
it's better when we're.
Enjoying our
Wanna get your chair?
teleworking day.
William.
Get your chair.
Uh,
Yeah.
How are you doing, Kendra? I'm doing good. I'm taking care of my mom. We're fine. Everything's fine.
it's-
That's fine. We're good. I will.
Wait, the doctor.
yeah.
Okay.
Jerry and Kendra, I don't know if you heard, if you have a piece of paper, grab a piece of paper and something to write with.
Okay.
If I get one.
My
My
goodness.
hands are so slick.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Hi, Tabitha.
Hey, Tabitha.
Oh, there's-
Hey, Tabitha.
Hey.
Ellie.
Hi, Tabitha.
Ellie.
There's Natalie too.
Hi, Natalie.
There she is.
Okay.
Kelly, you're muted. And Natalie too. It looks like there she is.
Yeah, I forgot.
Hi,
I
Kendra.
There she is.
Hi. Noise outside, so.
Okay. Want to see Tabitha?
Yeah, let's see Tabitha.
There she is.
Hi, Tabitha.
Tabitha, tell your mom you're
Tabitha.
muted.
Is she muted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There she is. Now she's good. Hey, Shelly.
And Shelly too.
Hi, Shelly. All of our friends on Zoom.
Kelly.
Woo-hoo.
Is anybody else still in their pajamas today?
No, we're not in our.
Good job.
I just
You
changed.
have no clothes on.
I just changed mine about 5 minutes.
It
You
would
never
be,
know
but I
what you're
have a
wearing
best
from the
friend.
waist
ago,
down,
so.
so.
I know. You have no idea.
Welcome back.
There
Oh.
Yes, that's
there we
better.
go.
Now we can see you.
All right. I can't see.
You guys getting nice and warm?
Four.
God.
I feel like there's one more person in it. I'm just not pulling out.
Jason Rice is signed up.
Jason, okay. He was a maybe too, so did he say he was gonna, I don't know if he confirmed or not, so. Maybe just a minute,
Yeah.
maybe one more minute or two.
We went a little over with I did.
Of course, it's Mark. Come on.
Well, maybe while we're waiting, we could have everyone introduce themselves and I can start and then I'll pass it off. um, because it seems like most of you know each other, but I don't know you all quite as well. But I'm Kelly Stanek. I'm a third-year medical student at the University of Colorado, and I have the honor of partnering with therapeutic recreation programs for my community project this year. And so I get to do this program. And then I'm also helping and volunteering with the adaptive cycling and hopefully can help with a few other things throughout the year. So maybe I'll run into all of you guys at different places after this as well. And then let's say our favorite dessert, which mine is red velvet cake. And I'll pass it off. Let's see, I'll pass it off to Mike.
Let's see.
We're Mike and Colleen.
Yep.
And what else did you want to know?
Just maybe a little bit about you guys.
Okay.
And then your favorite dessert.
Favorite dessert is probably chocolate ice cream.
Chocolate.
Wow.
My friend is chocolate with Reese's.
With Reese's. And actually, since COVID, we don't do anything.
Well, thanks for coming. And you can pick the next person to introduce themselves.
Casey and Ashley.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm Ashley Bourdonnais.
And I'm Casey Grice.
We both work with the TRP. So I think we know most everybody on here today. Is there anything else you want to add?
My favorite dessert is I like a good hot fudge sundae. I would say that's my favorite.
And then I like any ice cream. Any ice cream besides. I don't know if there's really ones I don't like that much. Any ice cream.
Always.
Yeah. We'll pass it down to Tabitha.
Can you tell me that name? Kudo ice cream. Oh, she's going straight to the dessert. Her favorite dessert is cookie dough ice cream. Cookie dough ice cream.
Oh, that looks good to me.
Good.
That
So
is a
my
good
name's
food.
Ellen McCrae, and my favorite dessert is also red velvet cake.
Good one.
That's good.
Okay, who do we want to pass? We'll pass it to Kendra and Sherry.
Yes. I'm Kendra Summers. My favorite dessert is donuts, chocolate donuts.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a good one.
I'm Sherry Summers, and it's hard to choose, but my favorite dessert is chocolate cake.
Oh, yummy, yum.
Also, yummy.
She's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
We're gonna pass it on to
Felicia Barnhart.
Felicia Barnhart.
Oh, who's that? I think I know everybody here. I'm Felicia. My favorite dessert. I really like apple pie, but at this time of year, I really like pumpkin desserts. So anything that's like pumpkin.
Wow.
Yummy.
Probably on my top list right now. And I'm going to pass it to Marianne and Will.
All right, William.
Actually, my favorite dessert is the cookies and cream.
Ice cream? Cookies and cream ice cream?
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah. He's been on to that lately.
Yeah. Okay. Or the ice cream cake. Or the ice cream cake.
Oh, yeah.
I like ice cream cake.
For his
Ooh,
birthday.
ice cream cake.
I think it's good.
And I love ice cream, but it doesn't love me anymore. So
Yes.
I'll say chocolate. Just about chocolate anything
Mm-hmm.
I love. So,
Oh, and Polly's favorite dessert is different.
yeah. Dog food.
Doctor.
Let's see. Who are we going to pass it on to? How about, do you want to pick?
Yeah. Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm the intern with the TRP this fall, and my favorite dessert is cake.
Wow.
Yum.
No,
Now,
me.
now I'm hungry.
Down.
Should we still wait for the final participant?
I think we could go ahead and get started.
Okay. Let me pull open. So I'll share my screen of the presentation, and I want this to be interactive. So feel free to interrupt and ask questions, or say something that you guys have experienced, or anything. So I wanted to provide kind of kind of like a lecture, like a some kind of program to help equip people with different coping mechanisms to help combat isolation and depression. So a lot of COVID-19 has really caused us to feel more sad, isolated from others. And we have these awesome online resources, but what are things that we can do on our own? And a lot of this is for anybody, and it can be modified so that both the participant, people with all different abilities can help to deal with their own moods and their own feelings, whatever those feelings are. So I'm Kelly Stanek, as it says, and medical student at the University of Colorado. So all you need, which if you guys already have this, is paper, a pen, and then, I love journaling, and I feel like that's a long-term way to help assess your feelings and your emotions, and to try to combat, like I was saying, this isolation and depression. And also an emotional chart, which I'll show that later. And then a smile. The number one way to improve your mood really quickly is to just make yourself smile. And that actually makes your brain, kind of tricks your brain into thinking you're happy. And sometimes that can be really hard when we're feeling really sad, but a smile can definitely be contagious as well. So if someone else around you is feeling sad, smiling can also help them to feel a little bit happier. So a lot of times people wonder, what is depression? And why are we concerned about this? Or why is it something that makes us feel bad? So the definition of depression is that you don't like what you used to like. You don't find pleasure in the things that used to make you feel happy. And then you're feeling down or sad or hopeless. Also, sometimes it's wishing that you weren't here anymore, wishing you weren't on this earth, and that can be really hard. But then it's also diagnosed as a psychiatric and that's when it persists for 2 weeks, for most of the days of the week, or it can be transient. And I think everyone experiences little bits of depression and little bits of sadness all the time. But most of all, we think of it as what's called like a negative emotion. And so then just a little bit about negative emotions. We have this really scary picture here. So some negative emotions like sadness or mad, anger, disappointment. There's a lot of like what we call negative emotions. And it's really interesting because a lot of people think that these emotions actually came from fear. So when you think of like, if we think of cave people or something, like a caveman is, he's sad, and so it heightens his emotions so that he can be more aware of what's around him, or fearful of the things around him. And so he's not, he's aware of what's going on. And so these are very natural emotions that everybody experiences, and we don't need to push them away and pretend like they don't exist. But now, a lot of times negative emotions, because we live in a safer environment in general than some of the people did, in the primitive days. Now we can have new purpose of motivation with our negative emotions. So instead of thinking that negative emotions such as disappointment or fear or sadness and depression, like we're talking about today, instead of thinking of it in a way that it is horrible and something to ignore, we can think of it as a way to motivate ourselves to do something good in the world, or to fight the good fight, like we were talking about, and to recognize why we're having these emotions, and then to equip ourselves to do better in the future. So I like to say, and I had a counselor who once told me that bad emotions are not bad. We all feel sadness sometimes, and we all feel different other emotions. We just have to learn how to recognize them and not let them overtake us, and not let them ruin what we love. So there's this is a long quote, sorry, but this is a psychologist who believes that a lot of these emotions came from evolutionary reasons, or other purposes, if you want to think of it that way. And that's how I kind of think of it. So it says, for sound evolutionary reasons, most of us are not nearly as good at dwelling on good events as we are about analyzing bad events. Those of our ancestors who spent a lot of time basking in the sunshine of good events were, instead of preparing for disaster, did not survive the Ice Age. So to overcome our brain's natural catastrophic bent, we needed to work on and practice the skill of thinking about what went well. So it's kind of interesting, because I feel like, me personally, I overthink the bad things that happen to me. And that's what this is saying, is that's supernatural. That is really what we're kind of like how we are created, to think about the bad things more, because then that can help us to survive. However, it's also different now, because we have much more, we have protective barriers around us. We're able to think more on the good things, and that actually might help us. But it takes a lot of conscious effort to think of good things. So I also was told to once by a psychologist that recognizing our emotions is really difficult, and we don't have the vocabulary for all of these emotions. So this is what's called an emotion wheel, and I love it. And I do it with my fiance sometimes, because I think emotions are awesome and they're totally valid. So this is a way to think of your emotions. And let's say, like, right now I'm feeling pretty happy, but happy is only a small part of what I'm feeling, because I'm also feeling kind of proud because I made this PowerPoint, and kind of successful because so many of you wanted to come to my presentation of talking about how to deal with some of these things. But let's say I was actually not chosen in a group for my med school class on Friday, and I was feeling pretty rejected and actually excluded. And so at that time, it was very appropriate for me to be feeling that way, because I was fearful that I wasn't going to be in a group with my med school class. But then some other people reached out to me and we formed a group, and so it worked out. But it was important for me to recognize that I was fearful, rejected, and excluded, and that's how I was feeling at that time, and that was valid, and that was okay. It wasn't okay for me to like be angry or take that out on my family or my friends or anything like that. So this is kind of how you can use the emotion wheel. And then here's another emotion chart. And this is kind of helpful for if you don't know what that emotion means, you know, like, oh, calm is really nice. But then ashamed, it looks really sad and kind of like not looking at somebody. So they, you know, so it helps you to see a little bit more of how those emotions might look, especially because sometimes it's hard to know what our emotions really are. You know, I could be thinking that I'm angry, but really I'm sick, and I just am irritated because I'm sick, and so that comes out as anger. So here's another way to kind of recognize your own emotions. So then now we have an activity. So every time you see this little bee on a flower, which I think is so cute, we're going to do an activity. So I want everybody to write down or draw or share your current emotion. And so I can have this back up, and if you want to draw your emotion, or if you want to look at this one and write down what emotion you're feeling right now. Does anybody want to share or share a picture? You can unmute yourself and I can actually stop sharing.
Can you share your picture? It's kind of tiny. Put it close.
You guys draw?
Yeah.
Aww. Love it.
William, what is your emotion?
Happy.
Good. And Tabitha, what was yours? Happy. Okay. And Mike, what is your emotion? I can't read it. Oh, you guys are muted here.
Sorry, we were muted.
Colleen,
Muted.
You guys are muted.
Sorry.
Here, let's put it way in there.
Happy and excited.
Hey.
Happy and excited.
I drew mine and I'm content.
Oh, cool. I didn't see that one.
Anyone else want to share?
I did not draw mine. I just wrote it down. I had comfortable and relaxed. So I feel right now.
Good.
I put hopeful. It looks like a Dragon Ball Z symbol, but it's supposed to be a sun. But I'm hopeful. I think this is a really neat concept and one that is especially pertinent right now. So it's nice that it's a good space to kind of talk about and understand better ways of going through that process.
Yeah.
I wrote down, I didn't draw anything, but I thought about like my mindset as of late, and I put down upbeat and inspired. Just kind of had this positive outlook lately. I don't know what it is, but it's been great.
That's really awesome. It's great to hear everyone's positive emotions, especially right now with like the snow outside and everything going on in the world with COVID. And so it's like really encouraging actually to see so many smiley faces that are drawn. Anyone else want to share their current emotion?
I feel happy.
How happy, Kendra.
I said calm and I drew a little picture.
Oh, I like it with the glasses. And Dr. Cassidy just joined. She's the med school.
Hey everybody, I heard Kelly was doing this today. I'm gonna have to be on and off, but I just wanted to pop in and say hello and show her some support because I know she's been working hard on this.
And I'm feeling contented right now, but there have been a lot of times over this whole COVID thing that I've had a lot of negative emotions.
Yeah,
so
it's probably right.
William seems to be pretty joyful most of the time.
But never Polly, Mom.
Oh yeah, our dog is having some problems. She's not doing so well. But yeah, just because right now I'm feeling happy and contented doesn't mean that I'm always feeling that way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely depends on the day or the hour sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
A lot of us have felt like, and my friends have heard me say this, so I can share it. I feel like we're on a roller coaster. Sometimes. You know, there's the ups and there's the downs of the day. There's the ups and the downs of the week. There's the ups and the downs of the last 8 months. We try to focus on the positive, and most of the young adults on this, we're in this workshop right now, are very positive and very upbeat, but which I think transfers to us as well as their parents. Well, yeah, I mean, we've had a little dog that's had some issues as well as myself. I've had a couple issues, but health-wise, but yeah, it's that roller coaster, you know. It's usually maybe slow and steady is our normal routine, and we love our normal life or loved our normal life, and then with things that are thrown in, when you feel you're on a roller coaster, I at an older age get nauseous on roller coasters now, so and I didn't when I was younger. But as an older person, yeah, roller coaster rides are not as fun as they used to be. I'm the same way too. She's very positive most of the time.
Yeah, the most of the time.
Yeah. I think what you're saying about like, yeah, just the roller coaster and being, you know, I'm pulling this back up because there's so many emotions that we can express, and even in the world, in the like area of happy, you know, I could be happy and feeling interested and curious in something like my studies at one point, and then later on feeling peaceful and thankful for my family. But those are different emotions, even in the same kind of chunk here. Yeah, so there's definitely some emotions there that, but yeah, I mean, you can also go all the way in 1 hour from one side of the wheel to the other. But I think it's helpful to recognize that in real time as well. Does anybody else want to share what they're feeling right now?
Not too much.
Something.
He wants to share, but he doesn't know what.
I do it.
I feel that way quite often.
Yes.
Station wagon.
Well, we can move on here to the next part of the PowerPoint. Let me try to. Okay. So have the emotion, and then the thing about this too is that once you recognize that emotion, you can have some coping strategies. So this is actually my fiance fishing. You can't really see the fishing pole, I realize, with the way that this picture turned out, but he loves to go fishing when he's feeling really anxious, because it's just such a peaceful activity that then his whole body kind of adjust to that peacefulness. I'm not really into fishing, so that's not really the thing for me. I think fishing is fun, but it's not necessarily my number one coping mechanism. So coping strategies are ways that you can find relief when you're stressed or sad or anxious or feeling overwhelmed. And they are different for each person. So you want to create or establish these strategies in for the opportunity to work through difficult situations. So for some people, it could be calling a friend on the phone. It could be writing down what you're thankful for, journaling, running, walking, weightlifting, yoga. A lot of those are pretty common for most people. However, I want you all to think of a strategy. And so there's a few different things that you could do. You could just think of your current favorite ways that help you feel better when you're down, to think of a new strategy, or if you want to do a really new strategy, think of one that starts with the first letter of your name. So I thought of one for my name, which is Kelly, that starts with a K, is kindness, and trying to be kind to other people around me. And that's a nice strategy because it takes my thoughts off of myself and what I'm struggling with, or the difficulty I'm dealing with, and it puts it on to helping others. So if everyone wants to either do all three of these or just one, like, what is your favorite way to help yourself when you're feeling down? What's a new strategy you could try? And then think of something that you like to do that starts with the first letter of your name.
She looks nice. Okay. Don't move me.
You say to me
And I'll stop the sharing so we can share with each other if anybody wanted to bring up a strategy that they love first.
I usually play games on the computer because you're so thinking so hard of what's the next step that you forget what you were upset about before. And go ahead. And my name is Colleen, so I try to make myself calm. You know, sometimes your brain is going so fast, and if you just say to yourself, calm down, it will help you. Okay. Do you want to say something? What makes you happy?
Oh, I'm happy as a man.
Too much football games?
I like to watch games.
Games.
Too.
What do you think?
We like music at our house. William, what do you do for music when you want to feel good?
Maggie B and Justin Bieber.
He's always going on YouTube and listening to music.
That's a really good strategy.
Or videos, like the funniest home videos.
Yeah.
So that's
and then he'll go in his room and dance. Just by himself, he'll put on the music and dance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or job to do, like dishes and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's always good too.
Yeah.
And I like to play violin, but sometimes I don't think to listen to music, and I do like to listen to music. So my name's Marianne. So my new thing is is I'm going to try putting on music and listening more, because I think it does occupy my mind, take my mind away from some of the more negative thoughts. If there's music on, maybe I won't do that as much. So
Here we got art. What's that art stuff?
Right. And I like to paint too, so I've been doing a lot of that too.
Yeah. Oh, and have a drink.
Yeah, eating and drinking.
Eating and drinking is very helpful.
Yeah.
I also have my tea here, so.
I like tea.
Is that me?
Anybody else want to share something they like to do or something?
Coloring.
Go ahead, Tabitha.
Coloring. Coloring the picture. And we thought of
What?
We thought of the T word for Tabitha was tentative, because she's pretty much that way. Mine is probably coloring as well. It kind of relaxes you and takes you, or watching a funny movie. It's ours, and my name is Shelly, so I thought of smile.
Oh, good.
That's a good one.
I like to watching Disney movies on Disney Plus. I like to play the Wii down in my basement, and then I like to play with my dog. And I have my 2-year-old niece. I like to play with her a lot too. And what else?
We also like to watch movies and listen to music. I mean, that's a big thing. So Kendra sings and dances, and then I like to watch YouTube a lot. She's got one show on YouTube that she likes to watch. But I think my new strategy, my name is Sherry, starts with S. My new strategy is going to sip on wine. I have not been doing that, but I've just come up with that idea because I'm supposed to have a new strategy.
That's the best one yet.
Now you all know.
I'll start with yours and then I'll smile.
There you go. Ellie told me to come up with a new strategy. I haven't been doing that.
I like doing art too.
Yes, you do.
Laughing at you. Oh my God, Mom. That's a good one.
I think Ash and I will go next. So for my coping method that I use now, I would say music. I'm with you, Will. Anytime you'll see me at any point of the day, I have an earbud in. I'm always listening to music. It just keeps me focused. I don't know what it is about it. I feel like I drive people crazy sometimes because I always have an earbud in. One thing that I could try, I did it the other day with the other medical student who ran the program when we did the yoga, and just that, like, it was deep breathing that we did. It was yoga, but it was really focused on deep breathing. And I still find myself kind of now like taking those breaths when I need them, just to kind of like calm down my heart rate or calm down myself. And then my name is Casey. So a new method that I put was I could cry. It's okay to cry. Ashley and I watched a show the other day and it had me tearing up, and I like talked about it for 2 days straight because I was like, oh, this was so emotional for me, but it was just a super cool thing to like watch. So it's okay to cry. So that's my new one.
Yeah, I cry all the time. So for mine, I walk. When I am upset about anything or nervous about anything, I will go for a walk. When it snows, it makes it more difficult. So usually I'll do chores. I really like to do like laundry or cleaning. I think just not really having to think about what I'm doing helps me just be able to do something, feel productive, and then feel more like myself after. And for Ashley, I put acceptance. I'm usually more of a positive side of things, and I think sometimes I need to learn more to accept that it's okay to feel these negative or these bad emotions, and I just need to accept that that's okay. and then figure out what I'm going to do after I accept it. Because I think sometimes I tend to just not want to, and then try to move past it without feeling what I need to feel.
I'll share next. I had what I currently do is either some type of exercise when I can. So swimming helps me just not think about anything but not drowning, and running, get my dog out so he doesn't drive me crazy, and just kind of not have to really think about anything, kind of clear my mind. Starting to do more crafting again, or artsy stuff that kind of helps me it kind of gives a creative outlet, and then helps me to, come out with something that I can give to other people or put around the house that makes me happy. I got a new crafting toy lately, so I've been doing a lot with that, and kind of fun. My name's Felicia, so it's F. I had either friend time, be more diligent about spending time with friends, or just having more of a friendly attitude when you don't feel like it. So, but I will agree, a lot of the other mechanisms I've heard you guys talk about are really good too. Dancing. I know when we had the stay-at-home order and every Friday we did the dance parties, that just was the best thing to put you in a good mood. It just kind of started the weekend off right, and to see everybody's smiling faces. So that's definitely a win for me as well.
That's a good one, Felicia.
Thanks, Kendra.
I can go next. I wrote music as well, but I really like singing music because it helps me kind of vocalize my emotions and how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
So something new I want to try. I just got some stuff so I can record my own music. So like writing my own music is something I want to kind of get into, which will also kind of help me process and express things I'm feeling. And then something new that starts with an N, I wrote down needlework. Because it's very fun, but I often do not take the time to just sit and focus on one thing. I'm very much multitasking, like to do lots of things at once, but needlework, you actually have to sit there and focus. So that would be a bit out of my comfort zone, but in a positive way.
Does anybody do puzzles?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
we do. Yes.
That
do
can
a
be
crossword
really
puzzle
relaxing.
every day, 2 of them. I do research. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, we'll start a puzzle and then I'll look up at the clock and 2.5 hours have gone by and I'm like, what happened? Where did the time go?
Yeah. You can really get in the zone. Coming.
Yeah.
Has everyone shared? Okay. Well, let me share this again. Okay. So we did this activity, and then I just have there. I have a few other examples. I was gonna go through the entire alphabet and try to think of something, but got a little overwhelmed. So, and I'm gonna mute everyone real quick here. Okay, just so we can hear. So we could do some adventures and baking, cleaning, like Ashley brought up the chores, decorating or drawing, exploring, which is similar to adventures, but sometimes an adventure could be going to Target, or exploring could be going to a local like antique shop, or exploring a different walking trail, fishing, like I mentioned, or gardening. Gardening used to be a big thing for me, but I just realized it takes so much time, and so that's been hard. So some of these, sometimes it's good to have coping mechanisms that take up a lot of time for when you really need a distraction, and sometimes it's good to have ones that are just really quick, like listening to music, putting on a song, or dancing for 5 minutes or something. But I also wanted to just bring up, because I think it's super important, that sometimes we need professional help, and not in the sense of necessarily being in a hospital or something, but also just recognizing that sometimes when we're feeling really sad, it's okay to see a therapist or a psychologist or counselor. And it's also okay to go talk to your doctor about it. And I think a lot of times people can have like a negative stigma around bad feelings, and just working on bringing that up also is a good thing. But sometimes, why do we care about these negative feelings? Why not just push them away and pretend like they don't exist? Well, there's a physical impact of depression and a physical impact of negative feelings. Depression is associated with weight gain. It can also be associated with weight loss sometimes, and both of those can lead to negative physical health problems. It's also associated with high blood pressure and neglect of certain physical illnesses, such as high blood pressure or heart disease, or even skin diseases, that a lot of people with depression actually see physicians less. And so they might neglect some of those physical conditions. Also, sometimes we think of feelings as defining us. And I think that this is something that's really interesting, because even I was reading an article about people who classify themselves into different categories and how that affects their life. And people who classify themselves as a mostly happy person actually are more successful in life. But that doesn't mean that they're always happy. And people who classify themselves as a mostly depressed person typically don't pursue higher education or a lot of other kind of things that we think of as successful. But there's nothing different in those groups about like there's nothing different about their beginning socioeconomic status, about their race, ethnicity, age, the people that were identified. And so it's also important to recognize that, somebody who thinks that they're a mostly sad person actually has happy feelings a lot of the time. And somebody who thinks that they're a mostly happy person can also experience some of those sad feelings. And so we're not truly defined by our feelings. Something also that I think is important to bring up, even though I know it's a hard thing to talk about, is suicide. And a lot of times people are not asked about suicide, and then are not asked about even their negative feelings. But something that's important to know for yourself and for others around you is that asking about suicide and asking about not wanting to live actually doesn't decrease, or it doesn't increase a person's suicidal thoughts. So if you're concerned about someone, it's always important to just ask them if they are feeling like they would want to take their life or not want to be here anymore. And on that note, no one is alone who has these feelings. No one is alone in their depression, and feeling like they're a mostly depressed person, or feeling like they don't want to live anymore, or want to hurt themselves. There's a lot of people who have had similar feelings, and we can relate in that. So it's important to recognize that even though we feel alone in these times, we're not alone, and that we can get help when we need it, because people want to help. And not only your friends and family, but professionals and in groups like this. Like, I think that this is just such an awesome group, and I've already felt closer to you guys and felt like you encourage me by just, being happy to be here. So it's hard to express, acknowledge, or communicate sometimes when we're feeling down, especially when we don't think that that's consistent with who we are. But it's important to, because of some of these, the impacts, the physical impacts, as well as some of the long lasting impacts that you can see. So it's also really interesting because a lot of times our mental health can feed into our physical health, but our physical health also can feed into our mental health. And then there's also spiritual health, which is kind of a different entity. And that's kind of how we think in more like broad terms about the world and who we are, and all of that. And so there's a connection between all of these things. And so a lot of people mentioned exercise or dancing, and that exercise and movement can actually help produce different hormones in our body that then help with our mental health. And that's shown. But then also friends and family, friends and family can help us in our physical health by watching us and being more aware of some of the things that we might not see. But they also help with our mental health and our spiritual health by creating that maybe that connection that we don't feel with many other people. Also medicine. So medicine that can help treat, it kind of is in between this mental and physical health, but it can also help you. A lot of people, if they go to church and they become depressed, don't want to go to church anymore. And so even getting on medicine can help in all of these areas, as well as purpose in life. So the purpose in life is kind of the spiritual aspect. And a lot of people struggle with knowing what their purpose is. But that can also help to fuel their mental health and their physical health. Because if you have kind of a purpose or you have a drive to do something, then you are able to guide your physical health by eating healthy and exercising, which then helps your mental health and your spiritual health. And this is kind of funny because, so an example of this is my fiance wants to be a firefighter, or he is a firefighter. But when, he didn't like to exercise very much when he had no reason to exercise. He didn't like to just go to the gym just to go to the gym. But he likes it. He likes, exercising and biking and all of these fun things. But when he was accepted into this volunteer firefighting program, he was so motivated to exercise because he wanted to do well and he wanted to be able to lift, people out of burning buildings, and he had so much more of a drive. So even thinking of why, what is my purpose here can help fuel all three of these aspects. And then there's nutrition. So this is something that's really interesting, and we'll hopefully have another program about this from the med school for next semester. So there's also vitamin deficiencies can cause or perpetuate negative feelings and depression. And some of, I'm studying right now for my psychiatry exam. And some of the questions, it presents this patient and then it says what is something that you would want to get? What are some tests? And some of them are, vitamin B12 levels and your red blood cell or your iron levels, because that can cause fatigue and depression-like symptoms. So it's important to be eating well, eating vegetables and fruits, as well as turkey meat is something that has shown to have some serotonin production because it has tyrosine. And vitamin D is one of the things that a lot of doctors prescribe to people with seasonal affective disorder, which is kind of depression during winter, essentially, as well as some of these other supplements can help. They don't cure depression though. And so I think that that's important to also recognize. Okay, so now this is kind of a jump, but I want everyone to write down 3 things that they are thankful for. So this is a little different. Okay, and I think we're back. And it can be 3 things in general, 3 things today, just 3 things that you're thankful for. Anybody want to share? I think Kendra, you're muted.
Okay. I take him for family, life, and my pet.
Aw. What's your pet's name again?
What?
What's your pet's name again?
Rocky.
Rocky. Oh, fun.
He's from we got him at National Rescue Mission. The rescue place. We have him about eight and a half years. We have him. He's 13 and a half right now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a Shih Tzu.
Oh,
He's adorable.
And then your turn.
Mine is definitely family, but especially Kendra. I think she keeps me young, even though I'm getting older. My good friends. And the last thing I put is just stability. Just kind of that even keel again, just being stable. You know, emotionally, I am stable emotionally, by the way. Financially, just kind of that even keel feeling.
yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Dr. Cassidy.
Yeah, so I also Kendra put family, and especially I was thinking of it because my kids are home from school on a snow day today, and I've got family around who want to help take them to do some things for a little while so that I can do my job. So I was feeling particularly for my family. I wrote down pumpkin bread. Because we baked today, and even though it's wintry outside, we made pumpkin bread to feel autumnal. And then I wrote medical students because I love working with medical students, and they fill my cup. They make me see kind of the good in the work that we're trying to set out to do here when we're trying to become physicians. And so being able to be here and listen. Kind of facilitate this conversation made me feel really grateful for medical students and for Kelly.
Thanks. Well, I also wrote the leadership in medical school because I felt very supported today. So I want you to know that. But Mike, did you want to share?
Oh, sure. Of course.
What are you thankful for?
Oh, I am thankful for everybody.
What else?
Everybody. Emily. Everything.
Wow.
He's really thankful.
That's profound.
Yeah.
You bet. I'm thankful I have him.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about a house or food. I'm thankful that I feel pretty good right now.
And me. What do you think?
I think that's it.
You got all those. It's awesome.
Awesome.
You want me to? So we'll share. We're both thankful for family and friends, and I'm thankful that I don't have to go out and work. That I'm able to stay home and be with Tabitha, especially during these trying times. Probably the other thing, just that we're healthy.
You can share what we put. I had put that I was thankful for sunshine and just weather. I love the sun, so that definitely helps. And then fullness. My cup was very full today, so just a feeling of fullness. And then my third one was community. Even on a day where we're working from home, still having that community and being able to see people. I'm very grateful for that.
I put my first one was I am thankful for my support system, all the people in my life that I can just go chat with, have a conversation with if I need to. My second one was I'm very thankful for the Buffalo Bills. They are the big dog of my life. Even though they make me super sad sometimes they give me some of my those I'm very thankful for. And then the third one I put was programming, which is like job specific, but programs like programs we run with the TRP, just anytime we're like in this, like, as Ashley kind of said, community setting where you're just building like these relationships with people, I'm very thankful for. Over to Will.
Are you kidding me?
That's how you want to do it.
Anyone else want to share?
You want to say yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, next year.
He says he's thankful for next year. And I said,
Oh,
well,
me too. Yeah,
what about
good.
what you have right now? And he's like, next year.
I mean, that sounds like very helpful. So.
And then what about this?
My special girl. My special girl, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's Rachel.
You have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Anything else? Or that's it?
Oh yeah, and Polly. That's it.
Oh,
Polly's our dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm thankful for my family and friends and support system, like Casey said, people I can just call up and talk to. I'm also thankful for my hobbies and interests and for nature. Well, there's a lot of other things, but those are my three.
Nature's a good one.
I'll go next. I had also support system, which is also friends and family and just coworkers and all of you guys and programs. I'm thankful for my health, that I was able to get out and do things, and also my faith that helps me.
I am thankful that I'm warm on such a cold day. That Halloween is my favorite holiday, so I'm very excited that that's coming up this week. And I also wrote that I'm thankful for such a great support system with my coworkers and my friends and family. I just feel very supported.
These are awesome. All of those things are so great. Do we miss anyone?
Oh, mute.
Okay. Did you want to share? Okay. So let's go back then. Here. Sorry, it takes a little bit. So the reason that I had everyone write the 3 good things is this is one of kind of like a foundational study that showed that writing 3 good things every day actually helps people get happier, which is, it sounds kind of like, oh, duh, you know, like obviously that would happen because you're figuring out what you're thankful for. And so you're thinking on those things more often. But it was actually really interesting because researchers did this study. And so it's the effect of 3 good things was investigated by Sheldon and I don't know how to say this name, like Lumborowski, in 2004. And then again, in the years after that. So there's several studies that have looked into this idea of 3 good things every day. And they found that after just 1 week, participants were 2% happier, And so if you think of that, like you're getting 2% happier every week, you're going to be just, getting happier and happier, and really establishing a baseline happiness with the 3 good things every week. But they also found that the magic of it was bigger than just this. So their happiness levels over time, they're kind of assessing them all the time. And so they rose instead of just being 2% happier the next week, then they were 5% happier. And so it was kind of a bigger effect the longer they participated in writing 3 good things every day. The interesting thing too, which I'm not sure if I have written down, was that sometimes the studies would also include assessing 1 negative thing that happened today. So 3 good things, 1 negative thing. And those studies actually showed longer term improvement in mood and happiness and just overall well-being. So it's interesting how we still need to address and show that negative, the negative aspect of life, because it's present. So having 3 good things, 3 things you're thankful for, but still recognizing when there's something that's negative. So 3 positive and 1 negative. But just recognizing that the consistency of this actually made the positivity grow and grow and grow. So then this was kind of one of the researchers said, as we expected, our simple exercise was effective in producing higher levels of thankfulness and appreciation. But more importantly, those who counted their blessings on a regular basis became happier. So it doesn't just help with thankfulness and appreciation, it's also, general mood. And then compared to the control group, there were significantly bigger increases in happiness levels before and after. So that's why we're doing this 3 good things. But it's not about just doing it today. It's about trying to do this every day. And it could be, with your family, or it could be by yourself. It could just be on your phone. I have a friend who's in medical school too, and she does it on her phone. And sometimes she'll text them to me. And it's kind of cool because then I can text them back to her what mine are. And we can share on that. And she texts different people all the time. And so she's not just sharing with just one person, because sometimes you can have the same thing that you're thankful for multiple days in a row or all the time. But it's good to share those with other people as well. So I'd encourage you all to try to do that. So then this next fun thing is to do something silly. And we kind of have been doing something silly all day. It felt like everyone's just been goofy and smiling. But why don't I'll stop sharing. If you want to unmute, you can. And then I want everyone to pat their head. And then now, now I want everyone to stand and jump in a circle if you want to.
And wait, do I jump?
Perfect. And okay, you can stop now if you want. So there's also a lot of evidence of people who do silly or goofy things or do things that make them laugh and smile naturally also have elevated mood. And it's hard. It's hard to do something silly when you are a professional or an adult or not in an environment where that feels comfortable. But It also helps with when we do something silly in our own lives or something that we feel like frustrated about. It helps for you to laugh at yourself if you're doing silly things purposefully, which I thought was an interesting assessment of the psychological study that it's from. All right, let's go back to sharing my screen. Okay. So here we go, smiling. So this is kind of what I was talking about. So smiling not only offers a boost in mood, but it also helps our bodies release cortisol and endorphins, and it helps with health benefits when you smile. So smiling actually makes your body think that you're happy, even if you're not feeling happy before it. It's that there's a thing called mirror neurons, or there's neurons in your brain that will fire at different times. And so there's neurons that fire in your brain when you are happy. And if you smile, even when you're not happy, then they'll go off. If you are happy, they'll go off and they'll make you smile. And so it's kind of like a two-way street. I also thought this baby was so cute and would maybe make everyone smile if they weren't already smiling, but everyone seems to be smiling already. And this actually has shown to reduce blood pressure because it's releasing those endorphins, kind of similar to what happens with exercise. It also increases endurance, and boosts your mood. I think of this when like you're on a run or something like that. If you start listening to a really good song, that will boost your endurance. And usually it's because you're smiling because you like the song. I don't know. And then also helps reduce pain because it's helping your brain to think that you're happy. So now everyone, let's try smiling. And we don't have to do it for a full 30 seconds, but another cute baby. But I think something that's hard about this is sometimes we have to wear masks so we can't see each other smiling. So it's really fun. And I thought I would have to do this presentation while wearing a mask. So that's also why I put this little mask on the baby. But we can show our smiles now on video. William, were you going to say something?
He's kind of like me. A long time ago, I was born.
You're a smiley baby?
Yeah.
The cute baby.
Cute baby. Okay, now we have a mask. But okay, so now I want you all to write something that makes you happy. We kind of talked about this, but something that when you hear or see or do makes you smile right away. And I lost my pen because I stood up and danced. Anybody think of something?
We can go first, unless Will and Marion, if y'all want to.
Okay, go ahead, Will.
Is Polly? Polly made me smile.
Mm-hmm.
Our dog, yeah.
And ice cream, too. Oh, and Rachel.
Yeah, lots of things make William smile. And what I thought of was William makes me smile. So,
yeah. I love that. I want to say right now, all of you make me smile.
May I?
Yeah.
Me go. My Vivian's my cousin smile for me. Right? Yeah. Or my niece, her baby, she's 18 months old. So she always makes us smile because she's learning and doing new things. Huh. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can show them.
Oh.
That's Kendra's youngest.
My youngest
my youngest
niece.
granddaughter. And she's in her monarch butterfly Halloween costume, Thea. Her name's Thea. She's
Thea.
2.5, so she
Yeah.
makes us happy.
She makes us happy a lot.
She's a little goofball.
Yeah, she's a little goofy little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything what?
Anything Disney.
Like Joy. That's one of our favorite Disney movies. Inside
Yes.
Out. This is Joy.
Inside Out talks a lot about emotions. I love it.
It says a lot. That's why
Well,
it's-
I gotta add Disneyland.
did.
We went to Disneyland last year
Christmas
for
last year.
Christmas last year.
So anyway, those are the things.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tabitha, that's your niece? Or wait, that's your cousin's daughter?
Yes. Yep.
Yep, there's Vivian. There she is.
Vivian.
Oh.
She's cute.
Yeah.
Wear my dress. Yeah.
Same
She's wearing my dress. The
That's
dress she
cute.
was wearing is one that Tabitha wore when she was little. Ashley, Morgan, and Ashley. Yeah. Both the dress. They all wore the dress. Yep.
Tabitha's cold.
It's a cold day.
It is a cold day.
Share ours and what makes us smile. I put the participants because they always make me smile and laugh, especially when they're, yeah, Kendra, I see you, you too. Just all the time. So very thankful for how much the participants make me happy. And Will, and Tabitha, and Mike.
Yeah, I would have to agree with
Right back at you, Ashley.
I would have to agree with Ash programming. Like you could have the worst day and go to a program and see just your familiar, friendly faces, and like it just totally turns your day around. Like just seeing your friends and whatnot. One thing that I put that made me happy, like as of recent, I've been talking to my brother once a week and just talking football, talking just nonsense, whatever. And but the past couple of years, we haven't talked as much, maybe once a month, but it's become kind of a weekly thing. And I just look forward to talking to him, and it just makes me really happy.
Yeah.
I agree with Casey and Ashley about our participants making me smile, but I also wrote the color yellow. It's my favorite color, and anytime I see it, it brightens my mood.
I agree also with just the participants in the TR program, of course. Like Casey said, you can have a horrible day going to a program and it turns your day around. There's some days when I have way too much office time and I said, I need to get out and I need to see my people. So I'm going to a program. That just makes me so much happier. I also put my pets, even though they can be crazy and annoying, they also make me happy. And nature, sunshine, and mountains just being outside.
Oh, that's good.
You guys are muted. Sorry, I think I muted you, so it's my fault. No. There you go.
Are those pictures behind you ones that you painted, Marianne?
Next step, I muted.
We can't
Did-
hear you. Tell her we can't hear them.
You guys muted.
We can't hear.
I did a couple
There
of
she
those.
is. There
I
you go.
did. And then a couple of them I got when I was in
Can't hear
Mexico.
ya. Wow, they're nice.
And then my mom did a couple of them. So
Oh,
combination.
wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Mike's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is seeing
Wanna
babies.
see?
Oh, yeah.
Always just make me smile, and I want to be a pediatrician.
Like to
So,
say something.
yeah, Mike.
Just say something. Say what you like.
I like game shows and football
Game
and
shows.
some videos.
Okay.
Oh, Mikey.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for sharing. I think we got everyone.
Of course.
All right, let's go back. I have one last thing and we're almost finished here. So, what makes you happy or what makes you smile? So the last thing is kind of something to do on your own. So we've talked a lot about emotions and what helps bring good emotions and how we can deal with bad emotions. But a lot of times we have actions that are linked to those emotions. So there's like an event that happens. So that's this triangle. And then we have thoughts about that event. So for example, it could be like, let's say somebody doesn't want to be your friend anymore and they tell you, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Then your thoughts are, oh, I'm a horrible person. No one wants to be my friend. No one likes me. All of these things. So then your actions are that you pull away from all of your other friends and you stop talking even to your family. And it's a really horrible situation, right? Well, sometimes we can't control the event, but we can control our thoughts, which then helps us to lead to better actions. So one exercise that I had with one of my mentors in life was to write down if I had a really stressful day or something really bad happened, I'd write down the event, write down my thoughts, and write down what I did. Then I would write right underneath it, do the same event, but then I would have thoughts that are, focused on love and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and purity and something that's right or true and something that's uplifting. And think of those things in light of that event. So if it's somebody who doesn't want to be your friend anymore, well, let's say that person's not a really good friend to you. So you can think, oh, well, maybe this is an opportunity for me to have more time to spend with the friends who are good friends, or this is a chance for me not to have that person involved in my life and influencing me. Or you could think, I'm still going to love this person and I'm going to wait for them to want to be my friend again. I'm going to be patient with them. Or I'm going to shower them in kindness. I'm going to shower them in love. And then your actions are going to be very different when you have thoughts that are focused on some good aspects. And this is something that I do maybe like once a month when there's something that really, something that happens that feels really stressful to me. And I'm able to step back from it and think, okay, this is the event. These were my thoughts. And then this is what I did with those thoughts. But next time something like this happens, I want to think like this. And then I want to act like this. And it's a little bit more advanced and it's hard to do, especially in the moment. And so sometimes you have to do it with somebody else. Sometimes I'll do it with, my mom or my fiance or a friend. Like my best friend and I talk on the phone all the time, and sometimes I'll talk with her and just say, this is what I was thinking. But, you know, when I think of it this way, it changes that whole situation. So that's kind of the last thing. And we don't have to do this now, but I was wondering if there's any questions for me. I know it was a lot we talked about. And let me give a little summary and then we'll open it up for questions at the end again. So, so in summary, we talked about depression, and it can be a clinical condition or a temporary emotion. And both are very valid and something that we should remember to talk about and acknowledge. But negative emotions in general are supernatural. They're very natural. They're things that we all the time experience. And they come from innate defense mechanisms to help protect us. And sometimes we might think of them more because of that reason. However, coping strategies can help in the short and long-term management of emotions and in isolation. So some of those are exercising and eating well, which is part of that physical and mental health interaction. Professional help if we need it, for either therapies or medications. And then that 3 good things that we talked about with the gratitude, the continuous gratitude, then smiling, laughing, and reminding yourself of the positive. So reminding yourself, like, you know, oh, there's something to look forward to, that hopeful feeling that a lot of you brought up. But then also monitoring emotions, thoughts, and actions throughout your day, which is a continual process, and it will help you become more insightful. And that's kind of the more advanced step to wonder, oh, what am I feeling today? And then, you know, acknowledge that and talk to somebody about it, even if it's good. So that's kind of what we did. Any questions for me?
I'm taking care of body.
I can't hear you. I don't know if it's me or you. Did you say something, Kendra? I couldn't hear you.
I'm taking care of body.
Taking care of your body?
Yeah.
That is really good. So taking care of your body through eating well and exercising can help your feelings as well.
Yeah, I'm taking your vitamins a lot too.
Yes, vitamins are good. People don't really realize how much vitamins can help our emotions too. But don't take too many vitamins.
I just take one.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah. You got any questions?
No, it was good.
We didn't have any questions, but we just wanted to say thank you. The activities were really fun and something that we might. But thank you very much, Kelly. That was cool.
Thank you,
Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming, and
thank you.
You're welcome.
And Kelly sent me a copy of the PowerPoint that she went through that I can send you guys, as well as an evaluation, so you can let her know what you thought about the class. I don't know that I can send it from home because I don't have access to my full email list, but I'll send it first thing tomorrow morning.
That's good.
Yeah.
Guys, thank Kelly went, and I loved all the activities and the interactions that we got to have, and I learned a lot about everybody. It was really fun.
It is fun.
It was good to hear the coping mechanisms that everybody used. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Well, I know. You're just stretching.
That's okay. That's good. Well, it was good to see everybody.
You see everybody too.
We
Thank
love
you so much, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, Shelly. Bye, Tabitha. Stay warm.
Bye.
Bye, Colleen. Bye, Mike.